Hey folks, Russell here, come from the shop. I wanted to shoot kind of a follow-up video to two videos I shot last year. The first video, and I'll put a link to it up here, is on the PCV systems in a Jeep, specifically the later motors, the 91 and later HO motors, but some of this does apply to the Renix engines. And I'll talk about that a little bit. So a 96, this is actually a 96 motor, and what I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of I got a lot of comments on the previous video of the PCV, the CCV system, with people having questions and problems. So obviously, as I said before, and this does apply to the Renix motors, the front port and the CJ motors, the early 4.2s, the front port is a fresh air intake. So it needs to be hooked to the air filter housing. Obviously, if it was a carbureted, it'd be straight up into the air filter housing. And then the back port on the 91 and later HO motors, this is a metered orifice, and then it hoses in to a vacuum port on the intake manifold. On the Renix motors, don't quote me, but this kind of came off and did a couple different things, but it had a PCV valve in it, but it basically did the same thing. Fresh air in, and then metered air came out. Some of you made comments of, you changed the orifice ports, you changed the ports, changed the hoses, and you're still getting a lot of oil blow by. I know one of you were getting oil blow by. It turned out that you had a cracked either valve gasket or cylinder head, and basically it was pressurizing the system. To you, make sure and check when you take the head off, make sure and get it Magnaflux to make sure there's not a crack in it. They're known to crack between 3 and 4. Not so much the 96, but we have seen it. And the 91 to 95, we didn't see it too much, but they are known to, if they overheat, they can crack, and then it'll pressurize and cause problems. The other thing, starting in 1996, when they started with OBD2, they changed the valve cover. So all things being equal, everything being new, 91 to 95 HO, you'll still get oil blow by, even if everything's working right, even brand new. And it's just a function of how, I don't want to say poorly designed, but how much better the design is on the 96 and later valve cover. The 91 to 95 valve cover was a cast kind of aluminum magnesium alloy. And the PCV, the oil baffles were just not as good. The later valve cover, 96 and later, all the way up to the end of production in 06 is a stamped steel, and it has a very well designed oil baffle in it. So well designed that on my customers that have 91 to 95s, I recommend right off the bat we put a brand new, because you can still buy them brand new, and I'll put a link in the description. You can still buy 96 to 06 valve covers. And then the gasket kit is different, and it washers up different. They don't leak as bad, and it has a much, much, much better oil baffle in it. And I think for some of you that will solve all kinds of problems. The second part of this video is a follow-up to a video I did about general vacuum leaks. The Jeep Wranglers and the Jeep Cherokees used a vacuum-controlled HVAC system. So your heater controls and vent controls are all operate off of manifold vacuum. And the cruise control as well operates off manifold vacuum. So if you've got a Cherokee or you've got a Wrangler and your heat stays in defrost like all the time, or when you're under heavy load goes to defrost. you need to check for vacuum leaks. And that system starts with a vacuum port on the manifold through a check valve, and then start tracing your hoses back. You can trace this one, goes back, comes back, and then it goes into, it splits, has another check valve, and goes into, provides the vacuum. So there's two hoses here. One is providing the vacuum for our charcoal canister, and then the other one splits off, tees, and goes into the dash. Obviously we have this one comes out that runs our heater control valve. And on a Cherokee, it continues on down here, hooks into our cruise control, and it goes on down. You can see the splice where I made the repair on the last video talking about this, and it goes on down through and in behind the bumper, and there's a vacuum canister that helps hold that vacuum. I don't remember where the canister is in a YJ. I know it has one. It has to have one, or the system won't stay functioning properly when you put a heavy load on it. It'll want to go to defrost. If you've got cruise control, it acts wonky. So if you're having vacuum issues, if you're having HVAC issues with it not wanting to switch right, it wants to default to your defrost all the time, which is the fail-safe setting. Even when the motor's running and everything's running fine, you should be able to flip to heat, to vent, whatever, and it's all vacuum controlled. And if there's a break in any one of these vacuum lines, then it doesn't hold vacuum and it reverts to the defrost setting. Now, some people may say, I don't care, whatever, but it's still a vacuum leak, and vacuum leaks make motors run lean. These motors run lean to begin with. You don't need to make it any more lean than it already is. So, to caveat or summarize all of this, double check all your vacuum lines, double check if you've replaced the metered orifice, make sure you get a new connection line, because this rubber will degrade as well, create a vacuum leak. Same thing here, although this is just a fresh air intake, so it's not as critical. But in summary, double check all your vacuum lines. These motors, the newest inline 6 in a Jeep is what, 13 years old at this point. Double check all your vacuum lines. Your motor will run so much better without the extra vacuum leaks. Your HVAC system will work properly. So if you like this content, go ahead and like, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon for future notifications, and as always, there's more to follow.